Hello there, everyone. Hope you had a great 4th of July and the following week till we get to this point and a week later. But I want to go back and talk about last week. I was scheduled to do a class, on the 5th of July, and that was changed. So I already had a lesson prepared. So I thought about it and I thought, you know, our celebration of freedom and our time to celebrate the birthday of our great country is not just a day. It's an attitude throughout our life and all year round in that perspective. Because I never cease to be marveling when I see the American flag flying here in my driveway on a flagpole. I look up at it. I still have that sense of reverence of what it stands for. And then I go on Fort Carson and I see it there flying. And then I hear retreat and revelry and all those things when they bring the flag up and take it back down again. And I always remember all the times that I served under that flag in very hostile situations and every day in my career as a chaplain in the Army. So as I was thinking about the lesson today, I want to celebrate this. I still do the lesson because I think it's more than a passing day. It's a whole attitude, like I said before. Entitled the lesson, Let Freedom Ring. And that's really where it kind of comes from. It's so important to remember of what it really means for our countries and its freedom in regard to how we fought for it, how we worked for it, and how we still protect it to this day. One of my favorite quotes is from Patrick Henry on March 23rd, 1775. And you've heard this before, but it's so powerful. Let me read it to you. It is in vain, sir, to extenuate the matter. Gentlemen may cry, peace, peace, but there is no peace. The war is actually begun. The next gale that sweeps from the north will bring to our ears the clash of resounding arms. Our brethren are already in the field. Why stand we here idle? What is that gentleman wish? What would they have? Is life so dear or peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death. You've heard that last phrase so often, but that's the whole context it was put in March of 1775. That is so powerful. No matter if we are in a major war right now, like the Revolutionary War, we're still battling around the globe no matter what, and it's never stopping that we're out there defending our freedom and trying to help those who want to seek freedom within their country. And so we do this, and no matter what, it's going to continue until Christ comes again. It's not whether we believe in those battles politically or any other way, because we want peace no matter what. But we do believe in the men and women in our military who are there on behalf, trusting in our support and beliefs in that freedom. And I think that's so powerful in my side. Even when I see fellow veterans, when I go into stores and places like that, I even comment to them, thank you for your service. And they'll respond back to me. There's a camaraderie there of knowing that. I like to pluck a verse out of the Galatians 5:1, and it says this: For freedom Christ freed us. Stand fast, therefore, and do not be entangled again with the yoke of bondage. The story goes that Archibald, this is a true story, was a young man who was always catching and caging wild things. He loved the sound of a mockingbird, so he decided to catch one and keep it so he could have it sing all the time when he wanted to hear it. So he found a very young mockingbird and placed it in a cage outside his home. And on the second day, he saw a mother bird fly to the cage and feed the young bird through the bars. Well, that pleased young Archibald. But then the following morning, he found the little bird that was dead. Later, young Arch was talking to the renowned ornithologist Arthur Wayne, who told him this. He said, mockingbird, finding her young in a cage, will sometimes take poisonous berries. She evidently thinks it's better for one she loves to die rather than to live in captivity. And I've read stories, and possibly so have you, about soldiers and others who were prisoners behind steel bars and their stories of survival and how they dealt with captivity over a long period of time just staggers my imagination. I've met many of these, and it's just phenomenal what they went through. But the deep, abiding faith and belief in their country and freedom and their own spirituality and their own faith, whatever it may be, is what kept them in strong within that circumstance. I don't know how they did it. Yet so often I see others who are just as much in captivity, living and working around me. They're captive to their small minds and hearts. They carry hatreds and prejudices and guilt and revenge around a self centered and made prison in their heart. Their world is so small and dismal. And in fact, hopes and dreams are slowly dying piece by piece in their lives. To give up those things that capture and imprison us is to gain freedom from. So it's not just the physical bars around us, it's those bars that we create inside of us by the things that we carry with us that keeps us captive. It's to live as if we were meant to live. It's to be truly a child of God. We're not imprisoned. We imprison ourselves, and we have the capacity to free ourselves. Freedom. What a wonderful word and a way of living. I came across this, I had my file, and most of y'all, I think in our age group, remember Red Skelton, the great comedian. And he wrote out, and you might have heard this before, and if you have, it's worth listening to again. So this is a commentary on the Pledge of Allegiance by Red Skelton. He said, as a schoolboy in Vincennes, Indiana, one of Red Skelton's teachers explained the words and meaning of the Pledge of Allegiance to his class. The teacher felt his pupils were bored reciting the pledge every morning. Many times it changed no matter what. So he decided to explain it to his students what the lines they were mumbling meant. So Skelton later wrote down and eventually recorded on the night of January 14th, 1969, he read his version of the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. And he immediately received 200,000 requests for it. He recorded it, and the record was widely played throughout the country. And this is what he said, quote, I, me, an individual, a committee of one, pledge, dedicate all of my worldly goods to give without self-pity, allegiance, my love and my devotion, to the flag, our standard, oh glory, a symbol of freedom. Wherever she waves, there is respect because your loyalty has given her dignity that shouts. Freedom is everybody's job. United, that means that we have all come together. States, individual communities that have united into 50 great states, individual community with pride and dignity, all divided with imaginary boundaries, yet united to a common purpose, and that is love for country. And to the republic, a state in which sovereign power is invested in representatives chosen by the people to govern. And government is the people, and it's from the people to the leaders, not from the leaders to the people, for which it stands. One nation, meaning so blessed by God, under God, our creator and author of life, indivisible, incapable of being divided, with liberty, which is freedom, the right to power, to live one's own life without threats of fear or some sort of retaliation, and justice, the principle or qualities of dealing fairly with others, for all, which means, boys and girls, is much your country as it is in mine. So he said, next time the class recites this, I hope these descriptive words will make the Pledge of Allegiance come alive. Recently, I picked up a magazine um, about from a dental clinic, actually, where I was visiting. This is me talking now, not Red Skelton. And I was sitting there, and it had a picture on a cup. And I want to read that to you, and I'll talk about it for a little bit because it was so powerful. It said this on the cup. In America, you're not required to offer food to the hungry or shelter to the homeless. There is no ordinance forcing you to visit the lonely or comfort the infirm. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say you have to provide clothing for the poor. In fact, one of the nicest things about living here in America is that you really don't have to do anything for anybody. Wow. We have the complete freedom guaranteed by the Constitution and paid for by those who defended it to do nothing for nobody. It has a hollow sound to it, doesn't it? The sad part is that some people live by that rule. It's all about me. Then there are others who know that our freedom has a price and is not to be taken for granted. Our freedom is to be celebrated every day by sharing our strength for the weak, our love for the unloved. What we can do this easily and wantonly, then we have not just freedom, but we're truly free because we're giving from our hearts, we're giving from our faith, we're giving in love to those around me. Luke 4:18 says this, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to set at liberty those who are oppressed. When I was in Germany stationed, one of the many times I was there, they had the 4th of July come around. And so they wanted to do something special right there on that Kaserne, they called it, the German area where we lived. And they wanted us to do something in celebration of the 4th of July. So they had the division band all down in this middle courtyard. And of course, all the headquarters was surrounding this parade field. And they came to me and asked me because I was not hindered by talking much and not exactly I was a professional speaker. That's what they saw me as anyway. And they wanted me to stand up in a window overlooking that. And as the band played on a microphone, I would recite something very special to the tune or to the rhythm of the song that they were playing. I think it was America the Beautiful, if I recall, going back in mind. And so I remember doing that. And it was so privileged to do that. And those around who stood around that courtyard, which is just packed full of people, of family members and soldiers around there who were and civilians who were watching this beautiful thing. And I was up there doing the speech. Well, I like to recite exactly what I had said that day. And you've heard it before. And I mentioned it earlier in the lesson when I said, Oh, glory. And that's what this is one you've heard many times, but this is what I recited. And I want to move back in time as if I'm on that window looking down that parade field and the flag fluttering in the breeze on a flagpole in front of me. And as a song of America Beautiful is played, this is what I read. I am the flag of the United States of America. I fly atop the world's tallest buildings. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly majestically over great institutions of learning. I stand guard with the greatest military power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident. I am arrogant. I am proud. When I am flown with my banners, my head is a little higher. My color is a little truer. I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am worshiped. I am loved, and I am feared. I have fought in every battle of every war for more than 200 years. Gettysburg, Shiloh, Appomattox, San Juan Hill, the trenches of France, the Argonne Forest, Anzio, Rome, the beaches of Normandy, Guam, Okinawa, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Persian Gulf, and scores of places long forgotten by all. But those were there with me. I was there. I led my soldiers, sailor, airmen, and marines. I followed them and watched over them, and they loved me. I was on a small hill in Iwo Jima. I was dirty, battle worn, and tired, but my soldiers cheered me, and I was proud. I have been soiled, burned, torn, trampled in the streets of countries that I have helped set free. It does not hurt. I am invincible. I've also been soiled and I've been ignored by my own people of my own country. And when it is by those whom I have served with in battle, it hurts. But I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have stripped the bonds of earth, and from my vantage point on the moon, I stand watch over the uncharted new frontiers of space. I have been a silent witness to all of America's finest hours, but my finest hour comes when I was torn in strips to be used as bandages for my wounded comrades on the field of battle when I fly at half mast to honor my soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines, and when I lie in the trembling arms of a grieving mother. At the graveside of her fallen son or daughter, I am proud. My name is Old Glory. Long may I wave. Dear God, long may I wave. So, isn't that beautiful? So now that you have heard the bells of freedom ringing, let's not take it for granted. It was God's intent for his children and is to be honored and fought for and guarded. 2 Corinthians says this: Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Lord bless you as we continue to celebrate this great nation of ours. God bless.